Okay, I'm live, and I'm glad I'm live. I guess it's better than being dead. How are you today? Sometimes when I get news, I want to talk about it right away, but there's other things to talk about, and then I'm sidetracked with the day-to-day life of living in this country, dealing with just my regular mundane things of just trying to mm, make enough money to survive and to get my adequate sleep, to work out so I can look like the trim, sexy persona that I am. You can laugh. Um, just trying to get by and live life. As sometimes when I get news events, I want to talk about it, but there are other things to talk about, and occasionally I'll run a little late on a few things, but I will talk about it if I think is relevant and still kind of newsworthy, even though we're talking about a week ago. And I want to talk about the the little riff that happened between Wolf Blitzer of CNN and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. They had it was an interview, and it was supposed to be a normal interview, and we know, I mean, we know obviously where Wolf Blitzer's political sensibilities rest on corporate Democratic Party bullshit. So I mean, that's basically he's part of the corporate media. CNN is terrible, and everything. What Michael Moore once referred to CNN, more or less as the second fiddler to Fox News. He was right when he said it. He's still correct. But anyway, let me get to the meat and potatoes of this. So Wolf Blitzer interviews Nancy Pelosi over the economic relief, the stimulus, that in relations to COVID. And it's there, and it's a normal interview. And as I said, you have basically two corporate Democrats bought and paid for in the media, bought and paid for in Congress, talking with each other. What can go wrong? Well, as they were, Wolf Blitzer accidentally was doing something like doing his job. And I think he accidentally asked her a hard hitting question and made a suggestion about working with Trump on this stimulus. And Nancy Pelosi got very upset and basically called Wolf Blitzer a Republican or a GOP apologist. Really? Really? My goodness. There is no way that Wolf Blitzer is an apologist for the Republicans. Now, will Wolf Blitzer choose Trump and the Republicans over Bernie Sanders? You bet your beetle boots that he would. But it's not to that point. So anyway, the point out. I mean, there's really not much to it than just to mention why it is relevant in relations to these two horrendous people. Nancy Pelosi. She was one time a moderately progressive Democrat. I mean, she was marginally better than a Clinton Democrat. Obviously, not as good as a Dennis Kucinich um, Democrat from yesteryear or today. She wouldn't be comparable to Alexandria Ocasio Cortez or the Squad. Um, but she triggered the right wing in this country, and they were obsessed with Nancy Pelosi, referring to her as the radical left. And as the Civil War took place within the Democratic Party, um, with Bernie Sanders trying to transfer the Democratic Party into a Labor Party, and that was his attempt. What happened was that Nancy Pelosi was no longer the radical left, to the point where Fox News kind of had to acknowledge she was no longer the radical left. Was she really ever radical left? Um, but anyway, um, it was wonderful when she was Speaker of the House in 2006 when she got elected. Oh yeah, well, when the Democrats reclaimed Congress and the Senate, the House and the Senate in 2006. It was kind of wonderful seeing Nancy Pelosi from January 2007 to January 2009, kind of fighting the Bush agenda all the way, or seemingly she was putting up a very good posture. In fact, I would say she did a better job challenging George W. Bush than she did challenging Donald Trump. You see, here's the thing: she was right. Wait, she would have been right to challenge Donald Trump, other than this silly tearing up his speech. Not impressed with that kind of virtue signaling or the little sarcastic side clap. I'm not impressed with that. I would have been impressed if she would have said, Donald Trump, the hell you're going to get more military spending from this Congress. We spend way too much on our military as it is. I would have been impressed with that. No, 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 no. Not only did she okay Trump's military spending budget, she ended up giving Trump more money than he asked for. I have stressed this point before. This is my problem with Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi, basically, the House authorized to renew the Patriot Act. You know, the Patriot Act. Remember, a lot of the language was written by that son of a bitch in the Supreme Court currently, Brett Kavanaugh. Some of the really shitty language and provisions within the Patriot Act. What did Nancy Pelosi do? Oh, the Russians, they control Donald Trump. Oh, well, we're just going to go and authorize the Patriot Act so Donald Trump can spy on all Americans. If you were really all that concerned with Putin, would you have reauthorized the Patriot Act? Not letting Chuck Schumer off the hook. Motherfucker, you sit there and allow these judges to be okay by Donald Trump. I said this before and I'll say it again. Calling Donald Trump an asshole in public, but then voting for his legislative agenda, it's not the resistance. It's and Kyle Kalinske referred to it as the assistance the other day. And that's what Pelosi and Schumer are. You're not the resistance. Don't be fooled by that. Pelosi and Schumer are the assistants. They, I don't care if Donald Trump's feelings are hurt that they call him an asshole in public. What I care about is the fact that the shitty aspects of the Trump agenda is being softly passed by Democrat, the opposition. And that's what gets me. But let me go further. During the first 2 years of Obama, it was like the fight that she had in her, she acquiesced to the mainstream and she became another corporate Democrat, no different from Hillary Clinton. Now, I'm not letting Wolf Blitzer off the hook. For about 5 seconds, I'm going to give Wolf Blitzer some glowing words to thank him for asking her a hard-hitting question, which wasn't all that hard-hitting, and I can guarantee you it was an accident. And and the fact that I almost feel sorry for Wolf Blitzer, considering that he got a good verbal reprimand by the higher ups within CNN. But Wolf Blitzer is a corporate Democrat piece of shit. When the movie Sicko came out in 2007, the Michael Moore movie about our stupid healthcare system that we have in this country, telling the truth about the healthcare system and why we need to be like Great Britain, be like Canada, be like France, and have medical care taxpayer funded and available to 100% of the American citizens in our population when we need it. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer that we should follow the examples of our closest allies. And, like just every NATO country, for example, outside the United States, has free medical care. Australia's got free medical care for their people. New Zealand's got free medical care for people. If you can overlook the shitty treatment by the Israelis against the Palestinians and look at Israel as just simply as a civil society for a moment, they managed to provide health care not only to their Jewish citizens, but to our Palestinians that live there too. Japan's got free medical care. Many countries in Latin America also got free medical care, and the United States do not. The late Ron Dellums uh, said when he was alive that during the apartheid era in South Africa, he said that South Africa will eventually have a national healthcare system before the United States. Turned out to be true. When apartheid went away, um, whatever one may think of the governing of by the African National Congress, um, I do support the ANC because they are a social democratic party, broadly speaking, but they are too large and too corrupt, and they have they're they're basically slightly better than the corporate Democrats are here in the United States. That's not saying much, but in their defense, they are building a national healthcare system right now as we speak, for what I understand. So South Africa is going to get a national healthcare system, and once they had that system set in, it's going to be good for the people of South Africa. But they're going to have a national healthcare system before the United States will. But getting back, and I am kind of getting off track here. Wolf Blitzer took a shit on Michael Moore's movie, Sicko. And Michael Moore was correct to call bullshit on Wolf Blitzer. And I hear the right wing people claiming how far left Wolf Blitzer is. Wolf Blitzer is a piece of corporate nothing. But for 5 seconds, he accidentally did his job. I guess that's better than nothing. So there you have it. If you like what you heard, press like and comment. If you were triggered, comment anyway. Share the content on this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you that if you are passionate about something, you have a platform, or you desire to build an online platform, please do so. Because we're all the muckrakers of our time. And more importantly, subscribe to this channel. Help it grow. I am American Social Democracy. And until next time, peace and Bernie Sanders for president in the year 2024.